Yo, what's going on guys? I'm Cartere, and in this video I'm going to be sharing some tips for beginners in Rainbow Six Siege on the PS4, but obviously you can use these tips for any platform that you guys are playing on. In this video we'll be sharing 5 tips. Now I do have more tips to share, but I want to see if this video actually does well, if we get enough likes, enough comments, enough views and all that sort of stuff to see if I should continue doing these types of videos. But yeah, let's start off with tip number 1. By the way, I am very much a noob at Rainbow Six. Also, I'm not saying that I'm a pro or anything, so I don't need guys in the comment section saying, oh, you're shit, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, let's keep it friendly right there. But number 1 is use your compass to learn the maps and communicate. You want to use the information given on the compass to give out accurate callouts to your teammates. Now, in the bottom right of the middle of the screen, you have the compass. Now, the compass will tell you what direction you're looking in, whether it's west, east, north, you know, all that sort of good stuff. And it will also tell you what floor you're on. Now, the floor, I believe, is very important. For example, when you first start the round and you're flinging your drones, it's very important to communicate to your team members and your squad what floor the objective is on, what floor the enemies are on, where they're moving and all that sort of stuff. And it also tells you the room that you're currently in, on like right next to the compass. So be sure to use that, because if you're playing with more experienced people, then they'll likely know the names of the rooms. And over time, if you learn the names of the rooms and you learn to communicate that across, then you will also learn the names of the rooms and you'll know what people are talking about when they say, oh, kid's bedroom or master bedroom in house and stuff like that. It's way more useful to actually use the actual names of the rooms and the floors and directions and stuff, instead of saying, oh, that room that looks like this with that thing in it. Like, you want to be way more specific. You don't want anyone to take any longer to think about what you're saying than they need to, because a split second in this game can get you killed for real. So number 1 is use your compass. Number 2 is, if the attacking enemy has 1 member left, do not chase. For God's sake, do not fucking chase the guy on the other team if there's 1 person left on the other team. Like, there's no reason for you to do that. What you need to do is fall back to the objective and defend. If you've got more than 1 person, then chances are you will win if you fall back to the objective and defend. If you've only got 1 person, the best thing for you to do is fall back to the objective and defend. Too many times I'm playing the game and I see people try to run out and find the last guy on the opposing team to try and take him out. All that does is give him more of a chance to take you out, and it's very silly. It's very silly, because if he's laying in wait, waiting for you guys to come out and try and get him, then he can scope off a few shots, kill a few people, and even the odds. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen. Even if you got a full team, the best thing for you to do is to just stick in the objective room. And I know some people might you might get antsy, you might have your, I don't know, ADD or whatever, you might need to go out and get some action because, you know, there's a minute and a half left in the round and you don't want to wait for him to come into the objective. But that is the way you're going to win. So I definitely suggest you sit back, do not rush out and try to get the guy, because that's just gonna put the odds in his favor instead of yours. Him trying to come in to a well-defended objective is way harder than him trying to defend himself against people coming after him. So definitely think about that, and please don't be the guy that runs out trying to kill the last guy on the other team and ends up equaling the odds and making it so that the other guy has a good chance of winning. Don't be that guy. 3rd tip is, you can pick up your drone, both the first drone from the start of the round and your other drone, so pick it up if you can. This is something that I didn't even know until a couple days into playing the game, and then I realized all you have to do is look at your drone and hold triangle and you can pick it back up. So if you fling your drone in and you get a nice vantage point or whatever, and you actually end up going to that place where you've left your drone, you can just pick it up and use that drone to drone in another room, and without wasting your last drone. Using your drones is very important in this game. I suggest you drone at any opportunity that you can instead of just running in blind. If you don't know where the enemy is in the next room that you're going into, drone it. Like, if you got a drone it, because your drone dying or getting destroyed is way better than you running in there and dying. Because if you get your drone killed, then at least you kind of know where the person's shooting from, or you get a little bit more information. If you go in there and die, then you've lost one person on your team. Of course, you can communicate to your teammates where that person is, but you've still lost one man down. So definitely, if you got the opportunity to use a drone, use it, and you can pick it up. Remember, you can pick them up. So if you don't just leave your drone sitting about, unless it's in a good place where it's going to get some use at the enemies. I mean, sometimes you want to leave it out because it's better for it to be somewhere than you to die and have it in your pocket. But generally, you want to pick it up and put it in a place where it's actually useful before you just leave it sitting about. Tip number 4 is, if another teammate spots the objective with their drone at the beginning of the round, find a vantage point to hide your drone and gain intel. Do not rush in there and try and spot the objective too, or just try and spam spotting people and running around and doing stuff like that. Like, that can be fun certain times. Like, if you go in there and you don't know the other guy has gone in there yet, or he hasn't found it, or he finds it right where you're in there at the same time, then fair enough, you can try and run through people's legs and get them to shoot each other and stuff like that. But the better thing for you to do would be to get your drone into a place where people aren't looking at it, searching for it, or trying to kill it, and you can be kind of incognito and gain intel. Also, in this point, if you're actually mic'd up with a squad of people, or full squad of people, I'd suggest not holding the triangle button to mark people, because if you mark them, then they know that you know where they are. If you don't mark them and you just call out to your squad where they are, then they're not going to know that you know where they are, and then you'll have the advantage because you got intel and they don't know that you have that intel. So if you can withhold off holding triangle, then definitely don't do it. Don't hold triangle and just call out to your squad instead. But if you're playing in a public server, or you're playing in a public match and you're not squadded up with everyone on the team and you can't communicate through mics, then maybe, you know, hold down the triangle button if you need to. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world to hold it down. But if you can not do it, then definitely go for that. Tip number 5 is, use the skull icon after a teammate dies to predict enemy position. Now, this is really important, because if one of your teammate gets killed, that means there's an enemy around that teammate, or there's glass. There's always a chance that there's glass, but hopefully the teammate will tell you that there's glass. But if you're not playing in a squad, then you may not realize that, you may not have the communication to even know who killed that person. But if there is no glass, even if there is a glass, definitely pay attention to where that skull is, because if you know where your teammate died, then you know you need to be careful in that area. Because if he can die in that area, or she, or whatever, if they can die in that area, that means you can die in the area. So that means, you know, that area is better left untraveled through, basically. Or if you are going to travel through there, then you got to be careful and look out for the enemy. And maybe even if you aren't going that way, then keep an eye on where that person died, because the enemy could use that route to come towards the objective. So you definitely want to be keeping an eye on where people are dying from, because that will generally let you know where the enemies are coming from. Now, I hope this video helped you out. Please like and subscribe if it did. You can also leave a comment down below if you've got any other tips to share with the community. Be sure to join my Discord channel, where you can play games with me, find other people to squad up in Rainbow Six Siege with, and more. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching and liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long. So all this warmth I share with you.